How's it going, everyone? Tony Hajjar here, co-founder, Drive Custom Fit. I have Mary and Morgan taking class with you guys today. For anyone that's taken class with me before, I usually will start with some line of communication, and this is kind of just set your intentions and really just kind of separate yourself from reality and kind of get yourself grounded down a little bit more. And I want to talk a little bit today just about the fact that where you are at this moment in your life is not where you're going to be. And if we can grasp that concept a little bit and understanding that with downfall doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be forever. And being able to write the chapter of your life now creates an opening for another chapter. So as we have that, I'll talk a little bit about that through the class, but understanding that where you are today is not necessarily where you're going to be, and where you're going to be in the future won't be the next chapter until we go through where we are right now. That being said, I'm going to start downward facing dog. And on this downward facing dog, I really need you to concentrate on the hands, your feet, your knees, and your breath. So taking time as you're just maybe taking a bend into your knees, maybe one arm lifts, one foot drops, but just feeling that connection. And again, as we talked in the beginning of class, is separating yourself away from what was really happening to where you are right now. It's an hour a day. If you're taking the time to be able to do this, it's going to separate and allow different things to happen into your life, okay? So as you're in this downward facing dog, we can slowly begin to walk feet to hands. Take a nice inhale, flat back, a big exhale, forward fold. With hands connecting to opposite elbows, we can begin to take a ragdoll. I'd slowly heel toe your feet a little further apart, taking a micro bend into the knees, and allow full effort into the drop, right? So almost if your shoulder blades are dropping into the top of the skull, feeling an opening into the lower back, and just allow yourself to begin to connect to breath. This is not a practice to be rushed, and as we've talked millions of times, power yoga is not necessarily moving fast, but being more involved. So as I do take you through some of these poses, I'm gonna want a little bit more of connection into the muscle. I want you to do more, but yet move slower, okay? So connecting more and moving slower. So really just finding inhales and exhales. Arms, I want you to release to the bottom of the mat, heavy drop through the arms, and feel a little bit more of a bend into the knees, almost dropping into the hips a little bit. Take a nice inhale, one exhale, deeper fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up to rise, and then take a big exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back, chaturanga, high to low. So taking to a high plank, to low, upward facing, downward facing dog. Slight bend in the knees, begin to slowly walk or float feet to hands. Inhale, flat back, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we want to sweep way up, and then exhale, drop way low. Here, we're going to take those hands and drop them back into a ragdoll, and I want you to take your knees, your feet, as wide as you possibly can into this ragdoll. So almost to the outskirts of the mat, heels on, let's take the toes off, or even step a little longer off the side of the mat. I want you to drop deep into this lower back, and then from there, almost if your forehead wants to drop into the forearms, allow a big inhale into your biggest fold yet. Arms then want to release away from the connection, grab onto the outskirts of your feet. Take a nice big inhale and give me a stronger fold into this, right? And this is really just activation into the lower back. I want you to begin to lift the hips as high as we can, and then begin to draw the hips back just a little further. That's gonna fire a little fire into the hamstrings, your lower back. Now, take a big inhale and release the tension from your neck on an exhale. Allow your hands to drop back into center. Allow your feet to walk slowly back onto the mat. A slight bend into the knees. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Sweep, we rise all the way up. Exhale, all the way down, fold forward. Flat back, chaturanga, high to low. Big inhale, upward facing. Big exhale, downward facing. Begin to walk or float feet to hands. Flat back, fold forward. Sweep, we rise all the way up, and then one more all the way down. Flat back, chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing to downward facing. Slowly feeling connection to the feet. Take a nice inhale, slowly follow my lead, high plank on your exhale. Tuck your elbows into the ribs, and I want you to pay attention to the location of your fingers, your hands. I want you to see your hands grasping into the mat, thumbs separated as far away as the pinkies, elbows wrapped into the ribs. Core is engaging, drop into low plank, big upward facing, exhale, downward facing. Integrating more connection here, right? So slow is going to create more power. Slight bend into the knees, walk or float feet to hands. Flat back, fold forward, sweep, we rise, chair pose. Now this chair pose can be happening 100 different ways. One, we will find feet connected, knees are drawn. Shoulders want to be behind the knees. Hands can be drawn heart center. They can be above your head. They can be in cactus arms. Find the pose that fits you. Now, the one thing I do want to connect into this one is I want you to begin to start to fire your legs up, meaning draw them together. As if you were to zipper up from your ankles all the way to your hips. Find heat, find more involvement. Take the heels. I want you to elevate the heels off the mat 3 inches, almost to the highest point, right? From there, I want you to bring your shoulders back just a little further. I want you to elevate up just a little higher. If you're feeling unstable, release the heels. It's all balanced in where you are today. Heels are released at this point. Big in breath, forward fold. Flat back, chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing to downward facing. Right leg elevates to the sky. With power breath, I take a big inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, I want to release back. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, release back. Exhale, knee to nose. Hold it here in the pose. Can we draw the knee any closer? Can we bring the hips up any higher? If everything in the pose mattered at this moment, if your life was depending on this pose, could you go any higher? Can you draw any closer? As you're curling the toes, we step in warrior one. So finding location into warrior one, paying attention to the alignment first. So the most important thing is we want to get alignment in connection with the front leg. Your left hip isn't in line with the front of the studio, with the front of your room, with the front of the mat. From that moment, wrapping the belly button up into your chin and then engaging. If the arms are above head, do it 100%. Are the thumbs separated from the pinkies? If it's at heart center, are you engaging into the pose? Again, we can go through all the poses, but then it just becomes part of the routine. It's not what we're looking for. Be part of what we're doing here. If you have 1 hour with yourself, if you have 1 hour to take an opportunity to be connected, do it at 100%. Take a nice inhale, exhale, chaturanga, high to low. Flow through this. Upward facing to downward facing. Left leg elevates to the sky. Remember, breath takes you to another level. Big inhale, exhale, knee to nose, release all the way back. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, release all the way back. Exhale, knee to nose. Find the pinnacle of it. Take the hips elevated to the sky, as high as you can go. Drop your head heavy. Let the tension of life be released into the top of the head. Draw your knee closer to your nose. Elevate higher. Take a step in, warrior one. Big inhale, you rise up. Exhale, you settle into the pose. And then make those adjustments. As we talked earlier in class, we talked about where you are at this moment is not where you're going to be. So to create that path from A to B, you have to start now. Positive thinking, a positive outlook to what is going to be me. The next chapter in your life has not been written, so what you do at this moment is ultimately going to be where you are down the road from here, okay? So connecting in, feel more involved. Take a big in breath, exhale, flow forward. Chaturanga, high to low. One breath, one movement, upward facing, Exhale, downward facing. Walk or float feet to hands. Flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep, we rise, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Flat back. Chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing to downward facing. Excellent job, keep it going. Right leg to the sky. Step in, warrior one. I want to take a big inhale as you rise up. I want to take a big exhale as you float forward. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky. Steps into warrior one. So fill in breath and then exhale, float all the way. Upward facing dog to downward facing. Begin to slight bend into the knees, walk or float feet to hands. One more sun B, flat back, fold forward, sweep, we rise, chair pose. On this chair pose, I do want to start as the girls here with hands in the heart center. I want to zipper up your legs. I want you to take a moment to identify where you are in this pose, and I want you to rise up 3 inches higher than you are, right? A lot of times in life, we believe we need to go so much further to be satisfied or find success, but where it actually is already right in front of you. Take a little bit off. Be 100% into the pose. From here, I want you to take your palms as they are in heart center, and I want you to separate all the tips of your fingers away, almost as if it's a flower drawing off your wrist, right? So you have the muscle part, just the palm part of your hands connected where your fingers are fully open and separated. I want you to draw elbows right to left. I want you to take a big inhale, and with every ounce of energy that you have, exhale the palms into the point where the elbows begin to shake, meaning I'm really stressing the pose. I'm flexing into the pose. That is gonna start to engage the trunk, the core, the breath. Take it for 5, 4, 3, 2, forward fold, flat back, chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing to downward facing. Powered through movement, right? Powered through movement. Right legs elevated to the sky. Take a knee to nose again. Elevate the hips as high as you possibly can go. Step the right leg forward, warrior one. Release the arms by your side to start. I want you to identify the hip location. So if you pay attention, Morgan's gonna be stacked forward. We don't want any opening to the hip, so as long as this warrior is stacked, we wanna be there. Now, if you find that the left hip is peeled open further to the left, take your left leg, take a half a step to the left, and then realign those hips, okay? Heart center in your hands. Same fire, same build, same connection. What I do want you to do is take a big inhale and then squeeze everything into the palms for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, release your hands, exhale. Take a big inhale, sweep the arms above your head, interlace your thumbs now, cross your thumbs above the center line of the body. Reach for the sky. Now what I want you to find here is as you're reaching, the palms are reaching high, and I want your fingers to peel back, all right? So here, it's almost as if you're reaching and holding the ceiling into your palms. Now pull as high as you can, take a big in breath, and back bend it all the way through now. Take a back bend on 5, 4, 3, 2, big exhale, chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing to downward facing. Left legs to the sky, knee to nose, hips elevate, become strong, the head drops heavy, step in, warrior one. Release your arms by your side to start, okay? Because we really want to be fired into the legs, into the hips. We're just integrated, we're warming the body. We're warming the body. And at home, I need to reassure you, where we are is not necessarily where you need to be. What these girls are doing and what sequence we're taking you through is not necessarily the sequence you need to be doing. So if you find in one of these poses, it's not the pose for you. I really was wishing he was going to do this. I need you to go there. Yoga is not about the asana. It's not about the sequencing. It's about the moment. So taking the moment on your mat and finding what you need is more important than what we're taking you through, okay? So as you're in here, we're gonna find hands at heart center again. We're gonna find an in-breath, and we're gonna find a squeeze. Build the heat for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Big release, chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing dog, downward facing. Slowly bringing the knees down to the mat. Taking a nice strong table. If you're needing water at any moment, girls, if you're needing water at any moment, make sure we're grabbing it. If you at home are needing water at any moment, make sure you're grabbing it. Now, what I want you to do is find that stable connection with your hands down back to the mat. I want you to curl your toes under, so you're getting a nice structured base. I want you to elevate your knees off the mat 1 inch. So we're elevating these knees slightly off the mat 1 inch. Now, control this through the palms of your hands. Your hands are structured, your hands are strong. If you start to self-doubt, ultimately where we find ourselves is exactly where we are. If you start to believe through struggle, I am more powerful to go through this, you're gonna go through this. Take your right leg and extend it all the way back, as far back as you can. Now pay attention to your left knee. Is your left knee elevated off the mat? I want you to hover the right leg off the mat. I want you to dorsiflex your right foot. Extend your heel back as far back as you can go. I want you to take your left knee and drop it down another inch. Structure, find base, find balance. 5, 4, 3, back to table. Inhale to an exhale. What happens in these moments? What happens when adversity strikes is we self-doubt again. Oh no, I have to do that other side. Or we can look on the mindset and say, I need to do the other side. I need to find that other side. So I want to do that now. Is what I want to do is hover the knees off the mat another inch. Structurally sound. Extending the left leg back. Curling the toes back to your face. Identifying the right knee. I didn't realize the right knee would elevate that high. Bringing the right knee back down. Not willing to fall short, but yet giving yourself the chance to move forward. For 5, 4, 3, 2, releasing both knees to the mat, curling the toes. Downward facing dog. Walk or float feet to hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep to rise, chair pose. Now on this chair pose, I want to start at a little higher stance than you would typically take a chair. So if you're normally really deep into this, I want to go a little higher. I want to bring arms into cactus arms. So start out with arms into cactus. So what we want to focus on is the elbows behind your ears. Then I want to draw to the wrist, and I want to separate fingers from pinkies, right? So your pinkies from your thumbs is as far apart as possible. Now this structure, this alignment of the body wants to stay engaged. I want you to begin to connect the knees. We're going to be taking a twist towards the left side. Take a twist towards your left side. Now what I do not want to happen is I don't want these elbows to draw in front of the ears. Keep the elbows behind. You're going to want to force everything forward to go further. I'm not asking you to go further. I'm asking you to be involved. Now what I do need you to do is fire into the legs a little more. I want you to pull your elbows back a little further. I want you to take a big inhale and go for gold. Take that twist. Take that twist. Now you're going to hit a roadblock here where the body doesn't want to go any further. And it's okay. Extend your arms far right, far left. Open all the way up. Make 2 fists into the hands. 2 fists, so big, strong fists. And if someone was pulling you open from right to left, we're extending longer. Squeeze the legs more. That right shoulder, I want you to force that twist as you're pulling that left shoulder back. Lift your chin up. Lift your chin up. Squeeze into the legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing to downward facing. Walk or float feet to hands. Flat back, fold forward, sweep to rise, chair pose. Not worrying about the arms yet. Where are my legs? I know I'm taking the twist on the opposite side. I know I need to get connected. Find yourself to be ready. Where we are is not necessarily where you need to be. Where you are is not where we necessarily need to be. Find the base, find your balance. Arms into cactus arms, fingers separated far from the hands, arms and chest is elevated, right? Walk into the room and be noticed without saying a word. We've said this a million times in this studio. So again, your confidence is outlined by your posture. If your shoulders are rolling forward and your chin is down and you're looking at the mat, we're showing that confidence is not there. There's nothing to be afraid of. We're ready to roll. Take a squeeze into the legs, take a big inhale, twist to that right side. Go for it. Now the connection that you find here is going to keep it stable of the uprighted position of the body. So the stronger the legs, the stronger the upper body. And then challenge yourself. Power is not fast, power is more involved. So saying to yourself, okay, what would it feel like if I was to take another 2 inches on this one? If I was to go just a little further, could I get that much closer? Extending the arms just a little bit more. Take another inhale. And with everything, knowing this will be the last chance I have at this one. A bigger twist for 5, 4, 3, 2, forward, forward. Flat back. Chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing to downward facing. Right leg to the sky. Be powerful. Be powerful. Big inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Step in crescent lunge. Arms by your side to start. I'm a stickler here as far as the alignment goes. So what I want to find is your skis. We talk about this all the time. Your skis pointing downhill, right? So as I'm in this crescent lunge, my skis are pointing forward. Take a good look at the back leg. Where's that back ski pointing? Yep. So identifying downhill is where I want to go. Now, put your right hand on your belly to start. Take your belly button and I want you to wrap it up into your chin. That's gonna get your trunk engaged. Arms above your head, crescent lunge. Biceps on the ears, fingers reaching for the ceiling. Connection into the right leg. Heel is elevated off the mat. Core is still wrapped up into the chin. Big inhale. Heel releases to the mat. Hands draw into heart center. Big inhale. Twist right side. Left elbow coming across that right knee. Maybe at home, you're finding one hand to the mat. Maybe it's to a block. Maybe elbows across the knee. Maybe you're in cactus arms. What is the right opportunity? What is the right pose for you at this moment? And then I ask you today to challenge yourself, and I'm gonna take it to another level for you. I am. But for right now is where do I need to go on this one? How far can I go? Now, if your hand's to the mat, or if it's across your elbow or your knee, or if you're rooted down to a block, I love that. Take a good look to the sky. Take a good look into the right hand. If the left elbow is across the knee, I want you to release it on the inside of your right leg. I want you to climb as high as you can on the left hand, on top of the fingertips. So rise up a little higher, come all the way up to where just the fingertips are touching. Now I want you to take a good look in the right hand. I want you to put full focus into that because that's where you are today, fully focused onto what we're doing. I want you to climb that right hand as high as we can go to the point where the nails are just touching. Not even the fingers, not even the skin on the fingers. And you might have to take a knee down. You might have to take a knee down. Doesn't mean that you're not where you need to be. It means you're allowing yourself to be challenged. Take the right hand higher. Let yourself climb the mountain. I want you to raise as high as you possibly can away from the fingertips. I don't want any support. We don't need those crutches that we've been holding on in life forever. Take your left arm and reach for the front. For 5, for 4, for 3, 2, rise back up, crescent lunge. Drop your arms down slowly. Open up warrior 2. So here on warrior 2 is a really it's about alignment. So we have our right knee, left knee. I want to be on the same alignment. I want your hips stacked off your knees. I want your shoulders stacked off your hips. I want your arms connecting and dropping in big time right into Warrior 2. Now, in this Warrior 2, we're extension, right? So it's not about low. It's not about, oh, I went really low. It's not about that. It's about full connection. So opening arms up as wide as we can, sinking in nice and strong into the pose, and then confidence. Walk into the room, be noticed without saying a word. Being confident in your own body. Being confident in the structure that I am absolutely challenging myself and not needing to do more because someone else is. Take your right palm, let's flip it to the sky, and then reverse your warrior all the way back. I want to focus here on this pose. As we take this reverse, is taking the right hip, right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist, and extending them all the way back as an arrow going to the rear of the studio. Feeling your ribs open, feeling the hip joint connecting, but yet getting that stretch that we need, that power movement. Want to take it to another level? Take your right heel off the mat. Maybe we find just a little bit more. Satisfied with where you are? Stay stable, stay strong. Releasing the right heel, back up to Warrior 2. Good strong extension. Left arm wraps to the sky, an extended side angle. So we can drop an elbow down into the knee, maybe you were taking it to the mat. But again, finding that blade edge where your ankle, your knee, your hip, your shoulder, everything is strong. And then reaching for the front of the mat, extending that open, doing the same opening through that side body that we would as on the reverse. Taking it for 5, 4, 3, 2, rising up, Warrior 2, back to Crescent Lunge. Big inhale, up, rise to the arms. Big exhale, back bend for 5, 4, 3, 2, flow forward, chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing to downward facing. Taking the knees to the mat, taking a child pose. Toes touching, knees wide, and active. Just because it's child pose, it doesn't mean it's time to take a big rest or a big break. This can be an active pose. Hips drawing back into the heels, knees drawing wide, finding a couple reset breaths, right? Sometimes we need just that reset button. Sometimes we need just that reset to say, okay, wow, I have this much more to do, or I have this much further to go. And we just need a couple breaths sometimes to say, okay, I got this, and I'm ready to do this. And it's happening today, and it's happening now. And your limitations are usually just set by the fact that you're setting them to yourself. I can't do that because your mind says to you, you can't do that, but yet your body wants more. So asking you as I start to take you through this other side is challenge yourself a little bit. Allow yourself to be powerful in the moment of being powerful. As you take yourself back into table, curling the toes, downward facing. Left leg all the way to the sky. Strong knee to nose. Hips elevate. Dropping into Crescent Lunge. Not worrying about your arms, connecting into the feet. So remember your skis. Skis in place, going downhill. Belly button is wrapped up into my chin. And the reason I say that on a lot of these poses is because I want the core to be active. If we can connect the core, we can connect the body. So keeping the core active, okay? Let's start by drawing your arms above your head into Crescent Lunge. Take them right above. And I want to get a good extension. Just really give me a good reach for the sky. It's perfect. It's perfect. And you're feeling perfect, and I'm opening up everything. Hands draw back to heart center. Preparing for the twist. Hundreds of variations. What is yours? Taking a big inhale, finding your twist left side. Again, this can be drawn hand down to the mat. It could be heart center, elbow across the knee. It could be a hand to a block. Not being afraid to say, I'm gonna drop a knee on this to get a little deeper into the twist, all right? Stop speculating that you should be doing more if you're already in a point of being challenged, okay? Taking your gaze and drawing it right up over your left shoulder. Look for the sky. Because if we can look up, we're gonna be able to reach higher. If we look down, that's gonna be a closer grab for you, okay? Take your left arm and begin to extend all the way to the sky, okay? And now take that left arm, and what I want you to do on this next few minutes is only look at the left hand. I don't want you to lose your eyesight on that left hand. I want you now to begin to extend that left arm a little higher to the sky. I want you to be able to release full connection away from the right hand. Stop stabilizing it so strong down to the mat and maybe rising up onto the fingertips. And as you do that, what happens is you have to put more attention into that left hand. So reach a little higher to the point where you begin to just feel the tips of the fingers muddling down into the mat. Look up a little higher. Drop onto the fingertips. You got this, we're almost there. Stay on the fingertips without questioning, without thinking. I don't even want you to think, I want you to take your right arm and just reach forward. Reach forward, right arm is gonna extend, left arm is gonna reach, and I want you to take a little bit more of a twist for 5, 4, 3, 2, rise up, crescent lunge. Excellent job, excellent job. Warrior 2, peel everything away from it. Peel everything away. Now, before we go into any of your side openers, feel alignment into the hips. Hips, knees, heels, shoulders, everything stacked like a board off those hips, okay? Extend the arms now. The arms should be stacked above the knees. Ask yourself, can I extend any further from right to left? Take your left palm, reach for the sky. Take a big in breath, reverse all the way back. Use this pose. Use this pose. Find that opening that peels you all the way back. Go back a little further. Push pressure down into that left leg a little bit more. Drop back just a little bit more. For 5, 4, 3, 2, warrior 2. Flipping the right palm, extended side angle. Coming down in connection, maybe to the knee or to the mat, wherever you are, and then pressuring down into the right leg as I extend a little further forward. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. Start to take connection into the breath. For 5, 4, 3, 2, sweep to rise up, crescent lunge, big in breath, chaturanga, high to low. All the way, I'm just gonna flow you right through this one. Upward facing to downward facing. Begin to walk or float, feet to hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Sweep to rise all the way up, arms extended to the sky. Take a big, strong back bend all the way back. For 5, 4, 3, releasing, arms down, mountain pose. Find connection, hands down by your side, palms face forward. Take all the tension away from your shoulders. Take the tension away from the feet. I want you to begin to walk the feet back to touch. Knees draw together, ankles draw together. Standing tall. Arms connect above your head. Thumbs cross or maybe hand to wrist. Reach higher to the sky. The biggest in-breath finds yourself just a little higher on an exhale. One more inhale, side bend, left side. Take a big, strong left side, side bend. As we draw, we want to stay on the alignment of the body. We don't want to draw the hips back and draw the shoulders forward. This is a challenging pose. One of the harder poses because there's always more. There's always more. So as we stay stable and strong, I want you to really connect into the legs. I want you to pull your hips a little further forward. I want you to pull your shoulders a little further back. I want you to take a bigger inhale and go further to the left for 5, 4, 3, 2, rise up, release the arms by your side. Take a nice inhale, take a nice exhale. Want more. Arms sweep above the head one more time. Connecting in, and an extension, and then drop into the right side. So you want to go far. You want to take this to the point where you're almost impacting breath, right? I'm feeling a little drawn, I'm feeling a little strong, but yet feeling a little vulnerable. That's perfect. That means you're heading in the right direction. I want you to take a little further draw to the right. I want you to boomerang the hips to the left. Pull your hips forward. Pull your shoulders back. Take one more inhale. Bigger drop to the right on an exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2. Rise all the way up. Forward fold. Flat back. Chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing. Downward facing. Begin to walk or float feet to hands. Flat back, fold forward, sweep to rise, chair pose, hands in heart center. Arms down by your side. Heels elevated as high as we can go. So I want you to take your heels as elevated as high as we can go. I want you to keep your arms down by your side. I want you to keep your shoulders rolled back. I want you to keep your gaze forward, your chin up. And I want you to be able to descend now, dropping down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and I want you to hold. I want you to be able to go lower now, hamstring to calves for 5, 4, 3, 2, to high boat. Bring yourself right into a high boat. So knees drawn, toes upright, arms down by your side. I want you to bring your arms in front of you with your index fingers pointing towards your toes. I want you to be able to hold the upper body upright, but drop the legs down and then rise up. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold. I want you to rope pull for 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Feel that core firing up. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Almost there, girls. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Release your feet to the mat. Curl your toes upright. Lay your legs heavy down onto the mat. I want you to bring your shoulders all the way down to the mat. I want you to go into the mind at this moment. How do I take full control over adversity, over the fact that I'm able to, even if I don't think I can? You go through it, and you feel the difference of doing it and not. So when it starts to get to this next pose where it starts to become a little difficult, I need you to remind yourself where you are right now is not where you're going to be. But where you want to go, you have to go through the roads you're on. I want you to draw your feet together. I want you to bring your hands to the sky. Wrap your fingers, index fingers pointing to the sky. I want you to keep your feet down and drawn to the mat, but I want you to take your shoulders and reach as high as you possibly can. I want you to bring a good 3-4 inches off the shoulder blades. Look at your hands. Can you elevate any higher? How high would you need to go if you had to sit up? Where is that? Now, without questioning, without thinking, elevate your feet off the mat 1 inch. Only enough to put the mat. Yes, I understand. Remember the conversation we had earlier. Start to flutter your legs. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, almost there. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, hold, don't let go. Sit right up, high boat. Go for it, we're almost there. Yes, you can, perfect. Hands in heart center, last core. 20 on a twist. 19, slow bike these legs, or just come into a twist. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Bring your shoulders to the mat. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice strong hug here. Excellent. I'd love to tell you that we're almost done, but we're not. We have a good amount left. I want you to be focused. I want you to be mindful of where we're going and stay engaged. Okay, I want you to stay engaged. I want you to begin to rock and roll front to back and find your easiest transition back into a downward facing. So we might just roll over if that's easy. If you want to vinyasa through, we can do that. Upward facing to downward facing. How we feeling, girls? You guys all right? All right. Right leg all the way to the sky, elevating and drawing knee to nose. Stepping in, crescent lunge. Rising up, arms will fall down by your side to start. Okay? So now you have this crescent lunge set up again, both skis are forward. I want you to take your right arm and I want you to reach as high as you possibly can. Reach that right arm. Now this can be taken with a block, this can be taken down to the mat, it's gonna be up to you. But you're gonna take your right arm, I want you to bring it on the inside of your right leg. So the right arm inside the right leg dropping to the mat or to a block. Now, get full connection there. Now what I do want you to do is, as you have leverage to that right hand, I want you to peel the left shoulder to the mat, or to the sky. Yep. Now, as we have this perfect triangle arm set up, the body's in line, Morgan's gonna begin to reach a little higher to the sky. Remember, modifications are 100% part of the practice, so taking a knee down is going to be more beneficial for you, then we wanna do that. But I need you to focus on this left arm right now. I want you to begin to elevate the right hand up as high as you can, just enough that the fingertips are touching. So you have to focus on the left arm. A lot of core work here, a lot of core work. I want you to take your right arm and I want you to bring it into a cactus arm now. Yep, and elevate any connection whatsoever. Now I want to draw a little higher away, open up, yep. I want you to begin to take your right shoulder, twist in just a little more. And I want you to take both arms and Superman them forward right above your shoulder. Excellent. That's it, girls. Excellent. Take your time. I want you to take your left shoulder, twist it back just a little more for 5, 4, 3, 2. Rise all the way up, arms down by your side. I want you to then stay where we are. I want you to take your left leg, give me a nice tap on the mat. I want you to use your toes as an anchor to pull you back as I'm gonna get a little deeper into this pose, okay? Hands on the top of the knee, but lock out your arms. Chest is elevated up nice and strong. Chin then now draws to the sky. Take your hips, I want you to pull your hips far forward. I want you to pull your shoulders way back, but keep that connection into your arms. Feel the left hip flexor begin to peel, open up, and just connect into the legs a little bit here. It's perfect. Stay for about 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Rise up slow. Hands dropped on the inside of your right leg. I want you to begin here on the inside of the right leg. You're gonna come up on the blade edge of your right leg. So you're gonna keep that there and peel this leg open. All right, it's perfect. Now, as we're in this pose, we can keep this leg peeled open. We can draw your left arm down, and if you wanted to take your right arm and open it right onto the right side. And we're just gonna give me a nice little peel open to that right hip. As you can start to see, we're starting to descend away from the power end of it, or we can look at this and say, this is so much more powerful or so much more aggressive than even the beginning. It depends where the body is at the moment. If we want to take an elbow down on the left side, we can take an elbow down. If you wanted to find more where you can take your right hand and connect into the left ankle, we can do that. If you feel comfortable where you are, be comfortable with where you are. Not needing to do more if this is right exactly where you need it to be, okay? I'm gonna take this pose for a good 7 more breaths. And those are inhales to exhales, those are not seconds. So taking full inhale to full exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. First thing, I want to bring the right hand inside the left leg, bring the shoulders all the way up, wrap that right leg back in, rise all the way back up, crescent lunge. All right, so if you're curling back through that toe, perfect. Now, To make it easy for you, what I'm gonna have you do is take your left leg, step all the way in, take your right leg, step all the way back. So we have this crescent lunge set back up. Now, none of these poses I wanna rush. I don't want you to rush any of them. I find in practice, at least for myself, is the slower I go, the more involved I am. The more involved I am, the stronger I become, okay? If we wanna go fast, I would suggest to hop on a treadmill and do something else, okay? Take your time in this room, on this mat, on your time. Left arm extends to the sky, dropping it on the inside of that left leg. So the left arm drops in on the inside of the left leg. There you go. Perfect. So you're just gonna transition. Perfect. Awesome. I love it. And again, paying attention, feel the body. Where do I feel good? Right? As Mary had that early transition where she took the right arm in instead of the left. If that's the pose that she wanted to take, I suggest you take that pose, and that's where you need it to be. Usually go with your gut. First reaction is the best reaction, okay? Now, extending arm to the sky, we really want to get this last power movement in, okay? We really want to find this last strong connection. So as we're extending all the way up, beginning to reach a little higher, feeling a little bit more powerful, feeling a little bit more ready, holding a little higher without a thought process that happens. Usually our brain is going to tell you no before we're allowed to do yes, right? So allowing yourself to dictate what is going to happen here without thinking. Take your left arm, cactus arms, just go right away. If you falter, perfect. That means you're progressing. That means you're winning. So open up just a little more. Feel just that a little bit more tension, right? For 5, 4, 3, 2, release both arms inside that. Now here we're gonna rise up. We're gonna drop the right leg back a little further. We're gonna rise both and bring both hands back on top of that knee. The right hip wants to be stacked forward. Chest wants to be elevated. I want you to take a nice back bend, and I want you to pull those hips forward. Yeah? That opening is great. You guys are feeling great. On the back end of the program, knowing where we are in the moments that we are, almost there. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I want you to release. Take a nice exhale. Hands down on the inside of that left leg. Begin to blade edge that left knee open. So you're just coming up on the blade edge of that foot. Maybe taking it down to the right hand, the left arm supporting on the left knee, and just giving yourself a nice opening here. Just a nice peel here. I'll usually take this with an elbow down, but if it's not there, you don't need to be there. You can also take a connection back into the right leg. If it's not there, you do not need to be there, okay? But taking the next good 8 inhales, 8 exhales is really the most important part of why we're here at this moment, okay? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I want you to fully connect in. So we want to move pieces slowly, right? So arms drop back in, leg draws back in, chest elevates up. Left leg I want now to stack back into a downward facing. I want you to take your right leg to the sky. We're gonna take half pigeon on the right side. So right knee to right elbow, right ankle comes across to your left wrist. Taking a block. Now, if we're finding that the right hip is just way elevated off the mat, we wanna place a block there, all right? Your labrum, hip labrum. These are usually some of the injuries you're gonna see in yoga by just forcing too much too quick. The body's not warm. If we're not doing this in a heated studio, if we're doing this at home or in a hotel, you're not gonna have the temperatures maybe to bring the elevation up in the body to get into some of these poses. So use a prop. If I'm at home and I don't have a block, maybe I'm grabbing a pillow, but taking this moment, this time, right now, right here, to bring yourself down, okay? To bring yourself down. So we're on the back end of this program today, on the back end of this class, and we're really heading into the recovery end. So finding yourself in a place to concentrate on that. Power's done. Taking a couple more sequences before we get into even Shavasana. Take them down. Allow everything to just calm down. Right? So allowing the foot to release, feeling maybe tension into the knee, allowing that to release back to the mat, making modifications so the pose best suits you today. It's a different pose tomorrow. It was a different pose yesterday. But for today, where does it need to be? And being okay with that, that's really important. So if we're gonna stay for another 8 strong breaths, I want you to take advantage of all of those, okay? As you're in this pose, and we're unwinding from it all, knowing that you've done the work. You've done the work. Just a small amount of time left, okay? For 5, 4, 3, 2, hands placed down first, chest elevates up second. I want you to begin to elevate the hips off slowly. Find yourself back into a downward facing dog. Left leg is to the sky. Left knee, left elbow. Left ankle comes across to your right wrist. Take a big inhale and then begin to release down on your exhale. Awesome. How you guys are holding up? Doing all right? Okay. Taking every little bit. So we're almost out of this. Almost out of this. Body's feeling good. You did do the work. There's no question about that. You did do the work. And I want you to finish strong, okay? I want you to finish strong. Earn it all. Earn it all. Positive. Be positive. Remember, as I stated earlier, walk into the room, be noticed without saying a word. How you hold yourself, okay? People see it, people feel it. Allow yourself to resonate that to others, okay? Take another 8 strong breaths here. And those are 8 inhales, 8 exhales. Almost as if you're trying to fog up a glass on a mirror. So full inhales, and then release it, exhales. Taking oxygen in, and then releasing it out. For 5, 4, 3, 2. I want you to slowly begin to place hands down. Bring your chest upright. I want you to elevate your hips. Bring yourself into a downward facing dog. Bring your knees to the mat. I want you to take child pose. So toes touch, knees draw wide, and I want you to take this as a very active child pose. So I want you to think about the lower back on this one, okay? So pulling the hips back further, but then taking your arms and really elongating the body, extending that upper body, right? And you'll start to feel, you can feel ribs opening, you can feel the lower hips drawing back into the heels. Everything is in connection, okay? Everything that we've done through today has been active. And we can say, wow, we went pretty slow, but it was very, very active. You did great, you did amazing. Take another 5, 4, 3, 2, bring yourself back up into table. I want you to sweep your legs around, coming all the way to a seated position. And then I want you to bring your shoulders back down into the mat. I want you to bring both knees into your chest. Give those knees a nice strong hug, right? Let the head feel heavy. Almost done. Fantastic job. Take your left leg, extend it all the way to the front of the mat, and release it down heavy. Keep the right leg drawn into the chest. Hips elevate up. I want you to take your right leg and wrap it up and over into a supine twist. So taking a supine twist. And I like to take this pose usually with my left arm connected on my right knee, and I'll take my right arm and draw it into a cactus arm. You might feel some cracking, some popping, some opening. Strong is steady. Steady is involved. Strength becomes understanding. And where you are right now is all of those, okay? Where you are right now is all of those. So 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly lift the hips up, bring the knee back in, extend your right leg out, hug into the left leg. Supine twist, opposite side. I want you to release all the way, so maybe the right hand's on the outside of that right knee or left knee. Left arm is into a cactus arm. And we're just feeling everything just fall into place. Falling into opening, right? Falling into breath. Almost there. Take your time. 5, 4, 3, 2, hips elevate up. Extension back. I want you to bring both knees in one more time for one more strong hug here. I want you to release your heels all the way to the front of the studio. Heels draw down. I want you to separate your feet maybe 12 inches apart. And I want you to drop your arms heavy where they need to be at this moment. I want you to feel your shoulders drawing back into the mat. As the heels are placed heavy, you'll notice when you start to take away effort or pressure, the feet will wrap open. Feet wrap open because we're not holding stress anymore. Taking it back into your fingertips. So just by slightly letting go of the hands, you'll notice your hands float almost as if your arms are laying in water. By taking away pressure off your hands, your elbows become heavy back into the mat, which then draws tension away from the shoulder blades. You might feel that the shoulders are falling a little heavier onto your mat, which then ricochets up into the neck, into the back of the temple, the crown of the head, which draws ultimately back into your jaw. Slight separation from your teeth, you start to identify stress away from the face to the heart, which draws back into the hips. And then from the hips to the neck, your spine is heavy back into the mat. To lay idle and still, could you actually feel your heartbeat? Taking one inhale to one exhale, your Shavasana. Starting to feel movement into the fingers, into the toes. Maybe rotation through the wrist and the ankles. Take a nice inhale. And on the exhale, rolling on to the right side of your body in a comfortable fetal position. Your left arm stays stable. We begin to slowly rise to a comfortable seated position. And as I finalize the practice, it's the same way I begin every practice, is to go back to where we were in the beginning. And that was just a conversation that I had based off where we are in this moment today in our life is not where we're going to be in the future. But being able to take the road that we're on now is going to lead us to exactly where we're supposed to be. So not holding on strong to the feelings of fear and doubt because the moments we're in doesn't seem to end, but yet to see where we are and find the positive out of all of it. The next chapter of your life has not been written. So how you put yourself in position now is ultimately going to lead us to where we are in the future. Thank you. Namaste.